The technology we use in everyday lives, our everyday lives, changes constantly, and sometimes it's quite frustrating. New models, new features, and so on. So how do you keep up with the ever-changing technology?
Consumer trends and technology expert Ted Townsend joins us now. He's spent nearly 2 decades looking at how emerging technology trends affect our everyday. Todd, why do I keep saying Ted?
It's okay. It
Oh
starts
my
with a T.
gosh! You know all these. Did I say Ted earlier?
No, I think you said
I said
Todd.
Todd. Oh my goodness. Well, if anyone can answer the question, why is technology changing so fast? You can. And so, what is it? I mean, I'll go buy a computer today,
Sure.
and then and by like 20 minutes later, it's like outdated.
Sure. Well, the key here is as things become digital, they change very quickly. And it all started back, if you look at a graph that we're going to put on the screen of, say, around the 1900s, when we had relay switches and vacuum tubes. These are things that used to be in computers and adding machines back in the day. But once a technology becomes digitized, it goes on what's called an exponential curve. And the way to think about that is we live in a linear world. That graphic you're seeing right there is actually a famous one that Ray Kurzweil came up with, showing the cost of computing dropping very, very rapidly over time. And that curve continues up and up in an exponential way. And it doesn't change if we have depressions. It doesn't change if there's world wars. This never stops improving. So the way to think about the future is technology is just going to get faster and faster and better constantly. And we're at the point in society, due to several things happening, that it's going to even increase faster. So when people say, oh my gosh, I have all these things happening in my life, I can't keep up with it, it's going to get faster and faster. So we're going to see things like the self-driving cars and medicine get much better very, very quickly into the future.
So then what do you say to the person that, can't comprehend that? Or, for instance, there are older generations who still don't use computers or, are just getting in. Like, what do you say to somebody who's like, I can't handle this? Or how do I move as fast as technology is moving?
Well, there's two things there. You don't necessarily have to move that fast.
Okay.
It's more about understanding what's coming up. And so anything that's becoming digital, and I'll use digital cameras as an example in a second, but let me put it this way. If we take 6 steps, say you take a meter per step, you're out for a walk, you can walk 1 meter. If you take 6 1-meter steps, you're 6 meters ahead of where you were, right? If you take 6 exponential meter steps, you're 32 meters from where you are. So let me ask you this, 6 steps, if you take 30 regular steps.
Now
this is great. This is great. If you take 30 regular steps, you're 30 meters, right?
Right.
If you take 30 exponential meter steps, guess
You're
how far you are?
60 meters.
No, guess again.
90?
1 billion meters.
Yeah, see, I never would have
What kind of math is
That's
that,
26
Todd?
trips around the Earth. Just to put into perspective, when something becomes exponential, how quickly it can change. So once something becomes digital, it can often change that quickly as well.
So my question is then what do you suggest that we do? Because if things are changing, like you said, the camera. I mean, nobody wants to get the old technology. We all want the new technology.
We all want the new technology. So start looking. What I suggest to people is in our daily lives, when you hear in the news and things about something become digital, like when digital cameras came out, they were kind of expensive, but they didn't take great pictures, so no one paid attention to them.
You had to really know how to use it.
You had to know how to use it, and then all of a sudden it kind of just started sneaking in there and taking off. So in our modern world today, what I look at is I say, what do I use in my everyday life that I'm hearing about in the news or around that might be becoming digital? Something's becoming a computer, or this is getting better. And how is that going to change in 4 or 5 years? If it's becoming digital from the old world to the new world, it's going to start changing really quickly. And that's kind of the way to stay on the wave without having to just know all the details.
Well, and then is that the same approach you should take in terms of buying a computer or buying a new cell phone?
A cell phone,
or an iPad?
really the cell phone.
I get those questions all the time. My best advice for computers, because they do change quickly, is buy what you need at the moment. Don't try to future-proof it too much because they're getting cheaper and they get better so much faster. So instead of buying a computer and say, I'm going to keep it 5 or 10 years, so I'll buy the really expensive one, I say get what you need to do over the next 6 months to a year, which will probably be great for you. And then in 2 or 3 years, it's going to be cheaper and better. Just get a new one.
Okay, before we go, one last thing. Is there one digital item or something related to technology that you think everybody should have these days?
Well, we have it, one, which is a mobile device. I mean, if you're not, we'll end with that, which is we think of these things as phones, right? We can browse the web. But basically, think how much more powerful your phone is than your laptop or your desktop computer. It's got all these different sensors, like a gyroscope and a camera. I mean, we've got digital cameras on our phones. We can do more things on our phone these days for a couple of $100 than you could do with $100,000 in the early 1980s. We've got more power in the palm of our hand than the president had in the early 1990s, basically, to get information in the world.
Early 1990s?
Yeah, that's a great
That
point.
Bill Clinton had.
Yeah, it makes sense. People think I'm Dick Tracy with my literally talking. You could talk to your watch. What is that? All right, well, thank you, Todd. We appreciate it. We're going to talk cars, self-driving cars now.